and welcome to Queensborough Community College's Celebration of Service. This celebration is a beloved tradition at Queensborough where we recognize the faculty and staff who have served this institution for many years. President Mangino loves this event and looks forward to being with us today. Sadly, President Mangino suffered the loss of her father just a short time ago, and so she will not be able to attend today. Our thoughts are with her. This afternoon, we have a chance to pay tribute to our colleagues who have reached 20, 30, and yes, 50 years of distinguished service. 50 years is an extraordinary achievement, an extraordinary commitment, and I would like to take just a moment to recognize the person that we will honor today for 50 years of service, social science professor, Dr. Philip Pecorino. Dr. Pecorino, please stand. Thank you. He, along with many members of our community, will be recognized today. And they have spent the better part of their lives committed to making a difference here at QCC in the lives of our students. Some honorees have supported students in the classroom, helped them to register, seek financial aid or academic support, or they may have worked behind the scenes, processing bills and the necessary paperwork to keep our records current, or maintained our campus, keeping it safe, clean, beautiful, and welcoming. All of you are an important part of Queensborough's mission to provide an inclusive, equitable, and exceptional experience that supports our students and gives them every opportunity to succeed. For all the ways that you have cared for and served our campus, I am grateful, we are grateful, the community is grateful for your service. This moment is just a way to say thank you and to celebrate you. I would now like to invite Beth Cunahan, Chair of the Faculty Executive Committee, to the podium to assist in recognizing this afternoon's honorees. We're going to begin with those who are inducted into the 20-year association. I will call your name, come to the podium, and give us brief remarks, and then we'll take a photo. So, 20-year full-timers, Barbara Blake Campbell, professor in nursing.
So by nature of the fact that I speak first, I get to take more than the 1 minute. But out of respect, I'll give Phil my other 19 minutes, so it will be 1 minute. Good afternoon, colleagues, faculty, staff. It's been an honor to be part of the Queensborough community. Coming to Queensborough was a game changer for me, leaving clinical bedside nursing. I became a student again and started to learn about the academic lexicon of college language. I remember coming in, starting with the wiki group, the e-portfolios. It was all quite new to me, but it meant that I was partnering with phenomenal scholars who are here before me. Some of the things that I really are highlights of my career is leading the first Perkin Major Effort Grant, addressing the needs of non-native speakers of English, a project that actually translated into a core Speech 007. For that, I'm very proud of. And then my tenure in Academic Senate, of course, I had to be initiated by Phil Pecorino, who is here today, but I did survive it. But one of the benefits is working with two former presidents, Marty and Dr. Call, and learning about governance. Other things that were really thrilling and exciting for me and afforded me the opportunity to work across disciplines was a common read and the study abroad program are highlights for me. So the magic actually began in the nursing department, working on Dr. Wallace, and then later Anne-Marie Menendez, and now Sue has taken over. And why do I say the magic began there? When you think about it, with the concept of transformational learning, you can take an 18-year-old and transform that person in 2 or 2.5 years into a professional caregiver with the letters RN behind it. And I want to take this time to congratulate the nursing department on their recent report of 100% pass rate. Queensborough Community College will always have a special place in my heart. I'll always be a supporter, and I know the alumni are listening. They'll be sending me letters for donation, but that's all right. It's been a great ride. I've been good to QCC, but QCC has also been good to me. Thank you very much.
Lawrence Chan, Senior College Laboratory Technician, Library.
Good afternoon, QCC faculty and staff and CLT. Any CLT? I'm honored to participate this celebration, knowing my 20 years at QCC. When I started in 2004, I was excited to work with our students in the library, helping them to use various technologies. I have seen reluctant students and shy students about asking for help. By the end of the semester, the same students are using Word, printing, scanning to complete assignments successfully. I feel good and valuable to work at the QCC library. Thank you.
Antonio Contant, Academic Testing Manager, Testing Center.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Yes, thank you. I would like to say that it's an honor to have worked with the faculty and staff at QCC and at CUNY over the last 20 years to positively impact the lives of our students and impact the work done in CUNY. I personally believe what we do here goes beyond assisting students to attain a degree. We're actually impacting and influencing the next generation, the future head of households and families, and I am actually looking forward to continuing this work with you. Thank you.
Margot Edlin, Professor, English.
Hi, everyone. Anybody who knows me generally knows that I'm never at a loss for words, except in situations like this. I'm never very good at them. I will say that if I had to sum up my 20-year career, I can look over in the corner, see one of my students who's been there with me, 18 of them. And so that to me is pretty much encapsulates the reason I'm here. He's over there, and there's another one of them sneaking around somewhere. Sanjay, are you here? I just want to say, in the little bit of time I have left, because Barbara took up all the time, is that it's been an honor and privilege to work here. I've watched Andrea's kids grow up while we're here and be born. I've watched Jesse become my colleague. I have one of my best friends in crime right here. And other good friends here. So it's been an honor and a privilege, and I thank you all for coming out today. It's a beautiful day, and that's it. I'm done.
Rudin Ellis, Custodial Supervisor, Buildings and Grounds.
Good afternoon, everyone. To be quite honest, I never thought I would have seen 20 years here, but I'm thankful for it, you know. I watched my daughter grow up, which is here with me, and from the day it started here, she was here. I brought her here, so she did. I watched new administration come through also, you know, and like I said, I look around from this Oakland building, being part of Buildings and Ground, you notice all the landscapes and everything, and from the Oakland building to remember the Holocaust when it was the mail room, you know, which we had to clear up, but I watched different things here, and I just thankful that I've made it this far, and hopefully make a couple of more years to see the change of it. And I'll be remiss, though, with not saying that, you know, the person that brought me here, Mr. Joe Safcalano, you know, Joe, you always said that I'm still here. And yes, I'm still here. And I thank you, Joe, for bringing me here. And that's it.
Marvin Gale, Associate Professor, Engineering Technology.
I thought I had more time. I prepared like a half an hour speech, but I had to trim it down. Good evening, everybody. Beth, the FEC, thank you guys for keeping the tradition going. Madam Provost, thank you very much. And congratulations to my fellow honorees. Today's a special day for me as I celebrate 20 years of teaching at QCC. However, anybody that knows me knows that my bond with QCC extended much further than that, as QCC is also my alma mater. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to work with some amazing people. I've made lifelong friends and learned so much from my colleagues. Even though I stand here alone, there are so many people that have impacted me and helped me get to this point. My list is long, but my time is short. I hope to get to some of you next time. So forgive me if I skipped some of you guys. Don Triccarino, my gym buddy. Ever since I was a student, I find solace in the gym, and Don was always there just giving me encouragement in so many ways, not only in best ways to work out, but in just keeping my head up during downtimes. Pete, every Friday I'm normally hitting the gym, and Pete comes in, he has a class at 11, he says, hey, work out as much as you want, but let's make sure you get out of here before my 11 o'clock class. Thank you very much, Pete, for that. My ET department colleagues, Bell, Hamid, Kleber, the whole team, thank you very much for helping me just transition from being a faculty member to chair. I really appreciate that. And there are a few others I'd like to thank as well. Dr. Linda Stanley, for whatever reason, Linda took a liking to me. When I started here, just encouraged me, even though she was English, I was ET. She encouraged me to join the WIDWAC, and every now and again I'd run into her. We'd have really good, meaningful conversations. So I wanted to just acknowledge Dr. Linda Stanley. I really appreciate the friendship that we formed. And I can't say enough about Stu Asser. Stu was my professor when I was a student here. He brought me in when he was the chairperson, encouraged me to do all the difficult things that I don't like to do, like writing, being on committee, that type of stuff. And he's even there for me now as I'm chair, trying to make sure that I avoid the pitfalls and don't do silly, impulsive things that I'll regret later. So thank you, Stu. And I'll just wrap up by saying I'm grateful for the support and the encouragement of my friends and colleagues. I look forward for a few more years of service. Thank you.
Mara Enriquez, Custodial Assistant, Buildings and Grounds.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to say I feel blessed and grateful to being here for 20 years, working in this beautiful place. Thank you, everyone.
Shannon Kincaid, Associate Professor, Social Sciences.
Hello. I'm just so proud to work here. It's an amazing job, amazing colleagues, amazing support staff. This isn't my first ceremony of service. At home, I have a 5-year pin from Red Lobster, and I guarantee this one's a lot better. I just want to thank everybody for making this job possible, for making this place possible, and most importantly, to thank my students for their continued inspiration. And thank you.
Red Lobster's loss is our gain. Joseph Labazetta, Academic Resource Center Manager, Tutoring and Academic Support.
Hello, thank you all for coming and supporting us. I started out working at Instructional Support Services and many other iterations of the QCC Tutoring Center thereafter, which is now the Center for Tutoring and Academic Support. So I would first like to thank the former director, Dion Pincus, who has retired. Some of you might know him, who taught me a lot to get started. I came from managing nightclubs to managing a tutoring center. It's pretty much the same thing, but you know. And of course, our current director, Stefan Spezio, who came to support me today. Thank you, Stefan. And Naomi Ferguson, who's in charge of our reception desk. Our center really is like a big family. And if you come visit us, you'll actually see that with not only the staff, part-time staff, but the tutors as well. I love working there. I wouldn't work anywhere else. Just like all of you, I work here because it's a great place to work, and we're all helping students. One last thing. When I first got hired, I had to have a mandatory meeting with the then president, Eduardo Marti, and I was very nervous. So I went into his office. He was very nice, but I remember the one thing he said to me. He said, "I see you went to Queens College for your education." And I go, "Yes, and now you're working here." He said, "Let me tell you the difference between Queens College and Queensborough." I'm like, "Okay." He said, "At Queens College, they say, 'Here, do this.' At Queensborough, we say, 'Come here, let me show you how to do this.'" And he was 100% right, and that's still true today, and that's one thing that makes this place a great place to work. Lastly, I want to thank my wife for supporting me all these years, working hard so I could go to school and work at the same time. She couldn't be here today. Unfortunately, she's in the hospital. But she's okay, but I just wanted to thank her as well. Thank you so much for this ceremony.
Best wishes to your wife. Andrew Majosi, IT Senior Associate, Telecommunications.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Queensborough, for recognizing me. 20 years is a long time, It's half of most people, and certainly it's half of my working career. And for most people, it's a quarter of their natural life. So it is a long time. And so I stayed here for 20 years working. I come from the corporate world. I used to work for banks and financial institutions. And they're very different from working for the state or city or educational institution. At those places, knowledge is king. Ability and talent and the ability to achieve things is everything. They also pay well and hire very rapidly when they need something, but they fire people the same way. When project ends or whatever reason, they will fire people as fast as they hire. So that happened to me before I joined Queensborough. They let me go with my wife 7 months pregnant, and I was really, we were all scared what will happen because we have no other income. And luckily, I got hired here shortly after my child's birth. So thank you, Queensborough, for that. Also, I never had to look for another job again. In the corporate world, every 2 years, you either quit or they let you go, no exception, as I learned. Also, I never had to commute because I lived in Little Neck, so it's 2 miles away. I previously had to go to Jersey City from here and also to Manhattan, no more. And when I first started, I met very kind and supportive people that I haven't experienced in the corporate cutthroat environment. And for the first time, I felt appreciation that was in balance with my self-worth. That was when I started, so it was kind of a culture shock for me. Also, I learned that alliance is very important here. And it was not so much in the corporate world, as I said. It's all about ability and talent and knowledge. So those, by the way, who don't know me, I used to be the telecom director. And as such, I managed my department just like if I would manage my own business. I put everything into it. I tried to minimize cost while maximizing service. And I believe I achieved everything that was there to achieve, and some things multiple times. I think one of the best, if not the best, benefits of working here is retirement and pension, and I'm retired now and have not worked here for a year after 20 years of service. And now I get to spend time with my family and friends and travel and worry about my hobbies and myself. So thank you, Queensborough, for all that. And I hope that other people will be as fortunate as I have been. Thank you.
Danny Mangra, Associate Professor, Engineering Technology.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to say special thanks to President Mangin. Unfortunately, she's not here. Phyllis, and the FEC, and my former colleagues and staff. As I celebrate my 20th anniversary, this is truly a special day for me and my family. It has been an incredible journey for me with a lot of challenges and success, but I'm honored to work here as a faculty member at Queensborough Community College. QCC has been a special place for me as I am a former student, and this is where I met my wife in S219. Throughout the years, I was given the opportunity to work with an amazing group of individuals. We share the same QCC mission and vision. Together, we accomplished a lot, and I'm proud to be part of it. Finally, I want to thank Shelley and my 4 sons for their continuous support throughout the years. Special thanks to my current chairperson, Marvin Gale, former chairperson, Hamid, wherever he is here, and Stu Astor. And not forgetting Belle Birchfield and my fellow colleagues and everyone present here today. I look forward for many years of service to the college and to the students. Thank you, Queensborough.
Gloria Munch Clark, CUNY Office Assistant, Library.
Hi, all. I'd like to thank everyone who made this day possible. I truly appreciate the privilege of celebrating my 20th anniversary of work at Queensborough Community College. I admire this community so much for its dedication to our students. I'm inspired by everyone here in my own position. As part of the library team, I help make it possible for students to research, study, and keep learning in a supportive environment. I feel very grateful for this beautiful campus and all my fabulous colleagues, and for the opportunity to be a small piece of our students' educational experiences and continued success. Thank you.
Sharon Reeves, Associate Professor, Foreign Languages and Literature, I believe recently appointed full professor.
Hi, good afternoon, and congratulations to all my fellow honorees. I'd like to offer thanks first to particular members of my Department of Foreign Languages who have supported me and guided me throughout my 20 years here at Queensborough. First, the chairpersons, the late Dr. Anne-Marie Bourbon, who hired me in 2003. My dear friend Antonella Ansani, who is thoroughly enjoying her retirement. My friend and colleague, Dr. Laura Sabani, who's here today. And our chairperson, Dr. Jose Osorio, who's doing a great job as chair, but unfortunately cannot be here today. And one more person, Mrs. Roz Smirnoff, who has been the heart and soul of the Department of Foreign Languages for over 30 years, recently retired. I call her our angel in the office. And to Roz, I offer my thank you for your kindness, your consummate devotion and dedication to the Department of Foreign Languages and all its members. As I stand here today on this warm, sunny day, I recall another sunny afternoon in August of 2003 when I was walking back and forth on the quad between the Office of Faculty and Staff and the Department of Foreign Languages to fill out those numerous documents we have to fill out for employment. At a certain moment, a feeling came over me that said, you are home. This is your home. Queensborough is your home. And I felt this peace, and I promised myself I would do everything I could to help my students to be a good faculty member and to be a credit to this wonderful institution. Thank you.
Andrea Salas, Associate Professor, Health, Physical Education, and Dance, also recently appointed full professor.
Good afternoon, Provost Curtis Tweed, dear colleagues, it is a pleasure to be here today. It's an honor and a privilege. When I started here, I was young and thrilled to be teaching our Queensborough Community College students. And while I'm no longer young, I am still thrilled to be teaching our Queensborough Community College students. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve in this capacity, and I am truly grateful to everyone who has helped to shape my career, and I'm looking forward to the next 20 years. Thank you.
Sean White, Campus Security Assistant Director, Public Safety.
Thank you and good afternoon. Started this job in 1992. Transferred to Queensborough 20 years ago, and when I saw the campus, I knew this is where I wanted to be. One of the things that helped me decide that were the staff and faculty, the students that I've seen graduate, the colleagues that I have the pleasure to work with, and taking it one day at a time. I'm proud and honored to have served the community of Queensborough. Thank you.
And now we will be calling 20-year adjuncts, starting with Chris Omolchenko, adjunct lecturer, health, physical education, and dance.
Good morning. I was hired here in the fall of 2000 to be the cross-country and track coach, and I am still here, and I am so enjoying my time at Queensborough. I have to thank Dr. Mitra for his support in athletics, Pete Marchitello and John Hochberg, my two athletic directors that are just fantastic and friends of mine. I would not still be here if it wasn't for people like Ivan Mack and Andrea Salas and Coach Ozzie, who's been with me since 2009. But I'm here because of the Queensborough track team. Thanks very much.
Now we have two people to recognize, slightly out of order. They had time conflicts, but we did not want them to miss out on their moment. The first one is a 20-year full-time professor, Robert Holt, professor of mathematics.
Good afternoon. Thank you for accommodating my schedule. It's been a wonderful 20 years. Just wish Joe Berarelli could be here. He meant so much to me. And two people have made this experience very enjoyable were our administrative assistants, Carol Schilling and Marianne Zacharias. I'd like to give a shout out to them. And thanks to all my colleagues for making this such a wonderful 2 decades.
Year full-timer, David Shimkin, professor of English.
Thank you. I have a 410 class, so I didn't think I was going to actually have to get up here and say anything. When I came to be interviewed at Queensborough, I have this vague recollection of being asked, why do you want to teach at Queensborough? and I didn't know. So I told them that when I finished my dissertation, I called my father, who's a businessman, cared only about money, and I was living hand to fist as a graduate student, and he kind of growled at me. I told him I had finished my dissertation, was getting my degree, and he kind of growled and he said, "So what are you going to do for a living?" And when they asked me in my interview, that was my answer. Sheena Gillespie was the chair at the time, and she laughed and she said, "I'll tell you a story." She said she had come from Scotland to do her graduate work, and she said when she finished her graduate degree, she called her mother back in Scotland and said, "Mom, I got my degree," and her mother was silent for a few minutes and then said, "I'd rather you'd given me a grandchild." Times have changed, but I felt that I fit in here then, and I still do. So thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
We also have 20-year adjunct Marcia Colton Morrison.
Good afternoon. The COVID pandemic forced us as a community to transition from the brick and mortar to the online classroom. As a visionary, QCC had begun preparing faculty for this platform, and I was among the first. In 2015, I moved to Japan for a year. While I was in Japan, I was still able to maintain my teaching career here at QCC as I taught fully online classes. Subsequently, during the pandemic, I was able to easily transition to this mode of teaching, which I have been doing since then. Today, actually, is my first day on campus since COVID. I would be remiss if I did not say thank you to my husband, who has joined me here today, and his expertise is in technology, so whenever I had computer problems, I could easily blame it on him. Thank you. Have a good afternoon. Thanks.
We will now recognize our colleagues with 30 years of service to the college. Jack Black, I think is behind me. Campus Security Assistant Director, Public Safety.
All rise. Oh, God, thank you, thank you, thank you. 30 years, man. I would never in my wildest dream think I'll be still doing this 30 years later. And y'all can see I must love it because I'm still working. Look at this. So I just want to thank everybody who ever supported me in the Department of Public Safety throughout the years. And I'm telling you right now, you got one of the best public safety departments in CUNY. All right? I want to testify to that, 30 years. And Sean, I want to thank you for 20 years of service. Thank you for your service. I stood with this guy for 20 years. He's been with me by my side, and I want to tell you thank you. Love you. Listen, I love you all. Thank you, guys. All I can say is God bless. Thank you. Thank you very much. I see your hands, Wilma.
Anne-Marie Menendez, Professor, Nursing.
Thank you. I've actually been here 35 years. I was an adjunct for 5 years here before I was offered a full-time position. And when I was offered that full-time position, I was 6 months pregnant with my youngest. So it has a lot of memories for me, and I'm so grateful for having the opportunity here at Queensborough. But of course, I could never have done the work that I did here without the help of so many people, administrators, staff, administration, faculty, but especially the students. The nursing students were just wonderful, and I've learned so many lessons from them, and I'm still working on those lessons. So thank you so much. I'm really so grateful. Thank you.
And as you know, I am the Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs. And I really could not do my job well without assistance in my office. And I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to pay tribute to Olga Salamanca, the confidential executive assistant in academic affairs, who has been here for 30 years. And when she told me this, I really came to understand that she really knows where all the skeletons are. Olga?
Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. I want to extend my congratulations to all the honorees today and to thank you for celebrating this special milestone with me. There are significant past and present events, like I had the opportunity, and I'm going to tell you this, and probably you didn't know, to restore hundreds of damaged books using my skills gained when I was a teenager. In 1995, I became a pioneer in using a computer while working in the Office of Faculty and Staff. Another significant event for me as an accomplished bilingual individual was to assist with the Spanish translation of the sexual harassment brochure. Also enjoy providing instructional support to students in all levels of Spanish for several years. And the most significant milestone for me has been working in the Office of Academic Affairs with the most professional and thoughtful individuals that I have come to know, as well as assistant students, faculty, and staff. Also, I am grateful for the opportunity to complete my master's degree several years ago, and for learning new technologies to fulfill my job responsibilities, as well as embracing the different working styles of the several supervisors I have had throughout these many years. I consider myself very lucky to have the opportunity to work with all of you, and I treasure that working relationship. Thank you.
We will now recognize our colleagues with 40 years of service to the college. Mona Seiler, Professor, Business.
I planned it that way, okay? Wow, 40 years. I arrived at QCC in the late summer of 1983. I was the first female accounting professor hired. So imagine it was me and about a dozen guys, some old enough to be my grandfather, and treated me like their granddaughter. So there were obstacles, there were challenges, but I embraced it all. Accounting is a heavy lift, teaching accounting. It's a subject rooted in applied theory and requires an enormous effort by both the professor and the student. 4 decades in academia is a long time. I have been a witness to history and have noted the changes that have occurred. I'm quite a bit older than when I began, but I still have the desire to deliver the best experience I can for those students who want to learn. I am so grateful and I feel so fortunate to have had the opportunity to impact the lives of so many thousands of students during my lengthy academic career. Over the years, I received many thoughtful notes and cards from students expressing their appreciation, telling me that they will remember me. Just 1 year ago, I received an email from a student, Onisha, after completing our accounting course. In her email, she said, "Professor Seiler, thank you for being a truly outstanding teacher. Your passion," I'm sorry, it's emotional, 40 years, end of an era. "Your passion for teaching and your dedication to your students is obvious in everything you do. I feel so lucky to have been in your class. I hope you know the priceless impact you're making on so many lives." And that's accounting, okay? So no fun at all. I also want to mention in the audience is an absolutely marvelous student I had about 5 years ago, Yulia Pelipenko. She arrived in 2019 from Ukraine. She registered for 2 different classes of mine over the next couple of semesters. She was the kind of student that we don't see often. Very bright, very hardworking, very interested. When there were no students saying anything, very little preparation, very little interest, Yulia carried the day. Thank you so much. I've spent all these years explaining and explaining for a living. But one promise I have made to myself and shared with my family and friends is that once I retire, I will no longer explain anything to anyone. Thank you. Picture?
And now, please join me in welcoming our 50-year honoree to the podium, social science professor, Dr. Philip Pecorino.
Well, the moment has arrived. What to say? If I start out saying I'm at a loss for words, anybody that knows me knows that's bullshit. But what words? A lot of people say they were happy to be here. I am happy to be here. In 50 years, I swear to you, maybe if I tried real hard, 3 or 4 dozen days were not nice on campus. Other than that, I've been happy to be here. I was born into one family, and I chose this family to remain with. And you are like family. It's what kept me here all this time, except for one other group, and I think you know who they are. So 10 years ago, at 40, we were in the other building. But it's poignant, and he's shaking his head because he remembers what I said, that I'm standing right here now. Because when I was 40, I said, in order to disturb a certain member of the audience, I was happy that that marked the midpoint of my career. She was hoping for an imminent announcement of my retirement. 10 years from now will be 60. I know I won't be standing here. I'll be happy to be standing anywhere. The happiness that comes from being here, how to describe it? What am I here for? Well, it's not for the administrators. Nobody comes here for the administrators. The presidents, I've had 6 of them. Won't make remarks about any of them. Provost, I've run out of digits to count the provosts that have been here in 50 years. So it's not the provost. No. They've been better ones. I've seen a lot of change, a lot of growth. I remember when I could see Manhattan without those trees there being so tall. I remember when Jack Black was only this high. He remembers too. He used to pat him on the head. Now, Jack, be a good boy. What I'm going to get into now is because where you're all sitting. This is significant ground. I kind of enjoy telling people who haven't been here before, this is marking the highest natural point in the borough of Queens. It's one hell of a walk up the hill from down there at the, what's it called, Little Neck Bay? From my office, I used to be able to see the bay. Now the trees are so high I can't see them. Maybe that's a good thing, because I saw the plane go into one of the World Trade Towers from the 4th floor of the Medical Arts Building that morning. Sent the class home. Be safe, I said. But this ground used to be the Flushing Golf Course. And 2 of my uncles worked as caddies here. None of my family could afford to play golf. My mother was one of 9 children that survived. She had 2 sisters, the rest were brothers. My father was one of 6. Not a single one of my aunts or uncles went to high school. My father, 6th grade. My mother made it to 8. My grandparents all came over on boats, and they were marked without papers. WAP meant similar to the N-word back then. So I can identify with a lot of hardships that a lot of the folks who come to us go through and what their families have experienced. They taught me that I shouldn't hold back from them this story, that I should share my story. For 10 or 20 years, I didn't. I looked too young. This was a reserved for faculty-only lunch area, and I had to grow a beard and things to look older to get in. It was the days of the hippies. Yeah, well, a long time ago, before your time, anyway. So my aunts and uncles gave birth to a lot of cousins. Only one cousin went to college before I did, and only a couple of others ever did. And so they did not know the world I was entering into. I had little support in the family that I was born into for the career path I chose. There was something about the world of ideas that really got to me. So little were they appreciative that I, at one time, was asked, Phil, how you doing? I said, well, I just got promoted. I went from an instructor to an assistant professor. Working class family, they asked me, how much of a raise did you get? And then I had to explain the schedule and the steps, and they said, no raise? I never brought up that I got promoted again in my family. I happened to overhear my wife talking to a friend of hers one evening saying, Phil's going to get promoted to professor someday soon. And then she said, Phil, when will that be? I said, that was 5 years ago. Yeah, we aren't paid as much as we deserve for what we do. I know that. And when you do get promoted every year or a salary schedule increase, you arrive at the top step. You can't calculate the number of years I've been on the top step. Just waiting and waiting and waiting. So it isn't the salary that keeps me here, or most of you, it's not the salary. So what is it? If it's not the administration, I do appreciate what the administration does, and the staff, without whom none of us could do what we do. Oh, I used to throw parties here at night and invite in all the workers in the evening to come over in here. There was alcohol. Those were good nights, and I got to know a heck of a lot of people that way. What keeps me here are the students, the ones I appreciate the most, the ones who have taught me the most about just about everything. Yeah, just about everything. Certainly, they've taught me the most about being a good teacher. They've taught me the most about being comforting and understanding, and doing what you can to help them without crossing certain lines. Sometimes you stretch them. So I've learned a great deal from students. I taught a course on death and dying for 27 years. Most of my colleagues would just make fun, the title of the course. But the people I met in 27 years, daytime and evening classes, the stories they told me, which now I relate to others, the life lessons I learned from them are tremendous. And I learned that we've got a lot to learn from our students no matter what we're teaching them, if only we will open up and listen to them. And one of the things that opens them up is to share your story. Tell them who you are and how you got to be where you are, and why you're doing the things that you're doing. Because for a lot of them, there's a barrier there. They put you on a pedestal that's way removed from anything in their family that they can identify with. So I hope to impart that to you, that no matter how much we think of ourselves as helping to help the people who come to us to learn things, to learn them, no matter who we are on campus and what we do here, we've got a lot to learn from them and their hardships and what they go through every day just to even get here. Some of them spend more than a couple of hours just to get here one way, let alone getting back. And the expenses that they go through and what they sacrifice. And why do so many of them get French fries only for lunch? Because that's about it. That's all they can afford. So I hope that in my 50 years, I've learned a thing or two. And I hope that all of you can learn from what I've learned and go on learning what it means to be what I think is a good human being. Thank you. No. Get it. Try. I hope you keep her a while longer.
Thank you so much, Phil, for your inspiring words, which really are the embodiment of the commitment to student success that we all share. This notion of sharing stories is so vitally important to reaching our students because it helps them to relate to us as individuals and hopefully to the subject matter that we're conveying. So thank you so much. And even though you won't be here for the 60 years, we hope that you're around for 60 and many more. And that brings us to the conclusion of our program this afternoon. I want to thank everyone who has come here to support someone who's being honored, whether you are a family member or a friend or from a department. Thank you all. I would like to invite all of the honorees to come to the stage for a group photo. So thank you all. See you next year, same time, same station.